Trojan Philly, what's up, man? USCJ here. It's the top of the morning. It's the top of the morning. Listen, I hope everybody is getting ready to get up, get out, and make some things happen this morning. Listen, we got to talk about a question that was asked actually by an Oklahoma fan, guy by the name of Nap Time. And, it was a legitimate question. It wasn't no hate involved. And I actually screenshotted the comments. And we're going to address this. And we're going to see exactly who USC biggest threat. That was his question. Who is USC's biggest threat in the Pac-12 this year? We're going to take a look at that. I want you guys to hit me in the comment section in the order you guys think that USC's biggest threat would be. And I'll tell you guys mine. I'm getting ready to show you that. Also, if you guys haven't watched it, go watch the interview I did a live interview yesterday with Anthony Beavers, USC's current safety right now. Look, go check it out. He told some very eye-opening things as far as who's doing what, who his best players were. But we're gonna want you guys to take a look at that, man. But let's take a look at this information that we got now. Who is USC's biggest threat this year? Let's take a look at it. Let's go. The actual question right here. This is from a guy by the name of Nap Time, and you see at the bottom it says Boomer Sooner. Shout out to him. He asked an honest question, no disrespect. It's all love. He follows the channel. He says, who do you think will be the top 4 teams in the Pac-12 this year, and who do you think the biggest threat is to USC winning on their way out? So we're going to answer that question for you, man. I appreciate that question. That's a great question. It's go time, man. It's on and popping. We're going to take a look at this. Let's go. All right. Before we take a look at that, I want you guys to go back and look at my interview yesterday with USC safety. I want you to hear some comments that he had to say about Tackett Curtis and about Zachariah Branch. I asked him yesterday who was the most impressive. Listen to this real quick, just as you can just listen to it. Who was the most impressive so far in spring camp that he's seen with his eyes? Take a listen to this. Impress you on both sides of the ball right now that you've seen so far?
Best impressed me so far on the defensive side, definitely Tackett Curtis.
Man, I've been talking about him like crazy on this channel, man.
Yeah, Tackett been doing this thing lately.
He's next level with it. He's the real. Everything that everybody's talking about, he's the real deal.
Yeah, Tackett dope. He's super dope. He plays super confident, so I think that's dope. And then on the offensive side, Zach Branch for sure.
Man, from Bishop Gorman.
Yeah.
Man, All right, so that is last night's live. I need you guys to go back and check it out. Anthony Beavers, he gave us a little information, man. I mean, as we've been talking about Tackett, man, Tackett and Zach Branch, man, it seemed like those two true freshmen are instant impact players. So that is Anthony Beavers from last night live. All right, so the first one I'm going to have on here is going to be Washington. I think they're going to be one of the top teams in the Pac-12. Michael Penix coming back. Michael Penix Jr., 4,641 yards, 31 touchdowns, 8 INTs, 81.1 QBR. And look, man, I mean, you don't have a whole lot. If you look across college football, whether it's Tennessee, even though they do have one coming back, that was a backup quarterback. But if you look at Alabama, you look at the Tennessees, you look at a lot of teams across the board right now, Georgia. The Pac-12 is one of the teams that are loaded with quarterbacks that are coming back. So these are most of these teams that I'm picking are all QB heavy as far as talented QBs, as far as the ones coming back. So Washington is definitely going to be one. And you guys seen what they did against Texas in the Alamo Bowl, absolutely destroyed them. They went crazy. So they finished out the season strong. Next one's going to be Utah. Their quarterback's returning as well. Cam Rising, 3,334 yards, 26 touchdowns, 8 INTs, and an 83.1 QBR. He's coming back as well. They end up making it to the Rose Bowl. However, they lost. But, I think they're one of the top teams as well coming back in the Pac-12. Next one's going to be Oregon. I mean, they're coming back strong. They finished out well in the season last year, beating Notre Dame, that QB that they said is supposed to be up there top with Caleb Williams, beat them, man, pretty good, North Carolina. And look, he had 3,593 yards, 29 touchdowns, 7 INTs, and an 85.1 QBR. This is what's going to make them as one of the top teams as well in the Pac-12. Now, my next team in the Pac-12, some might question this, and I'm going to show you guys why. We'll look at the schedule for it in a second. I'm going to say Jaden Delore, and even though we got Dorian Singer, one of his weapons, I think he just caused some problems just the way he run around. Now, I do think we're going to be a lot more disciplined. I think our defense is going to be much better. But, the question was asked, what do I think the top teams are going to be this year? I think Arizona made a step forward, even though they didn't win all their games last year. They made a step forward last year, and I think the QB is one of the reasons why. You see, he threw for 3,685 yards, 25 touchdowns, and 13 INTs with a 65 QBR. So I think this is going to make this team that much better. Now here's the actual schedule, and you see that little name right there under the Hollywood sign. It says USC Priority. This is my guy right here. He does all these little deals, man. He's real creative, but he made this schedule. Go follow him on Instagram. He has all your recruiting stuff. USC Priority. But look, here's my reasoning behind the schedule. UCLA, even though they are a big-time rivalry, the quarterback situation, I know they got the big-time recruit that was an Oregon commit, Deontay Moore. However, it might take him a minute to get acclimated to the system. And then they got the transfer in that came from Kent State. I think he's good. He had a pretty decent season. But I just don't know. And they do got Kyle Ford, but I'm not sure all the other weapons around him. I'm not sure how that's going to translate to the field. You got a guy like Dorian Thompson-Robinson who was extremely effective. Zach Charbonnet, he's out of there as well. Those two guys are out of there. So, to me, and then you got Arizona that beat UCLA last year, who got the returning quarterback coming back. So my reasoning behind that is mainly the quarterback being as potent. So when you look at, and then Shiloh Sanders in Colorado, I'm not sure about them. They are one of the best teams in the transfer portal right now. I understand that. So I give them credit for that. And they got a lot of talent coming, but they open up with TCU. They got a schedule, man. I'll tell you that. They got a schedule. So, this is how I see it, man. I got Arizona, Oregon, Washington, and Utah are going to be the top teams. Now, I do got a bonus here. This is going to be my bonus. Those are the top teams in the Pac-12. This is the bonus. It's going to be Notre Dame. They got the transfer quarterback that's coming from Wake Forest, Sam Hartman, who's an absolute stud, man. Dude, he threw for 3,701 yards, 38 touchdowns, 12 INTs, and a 76.2 QBR. He gave Clemson fits. You remember they took him to double overtime last year. I think the scores was in the 40s, like 45 to 43 or something crazy, double overtime. But Sam Hartman was a big reason for that. I seen this guy throwing the ball like a gunslinger, looking like Brett Favre out there, or John Elway or somebody. But, I mean, the guy has an arm. He transferred in to Notre Dame, and coincidentally, Notre Dame's quarterback transferred to Arizona State. That's a whole nother subject within itself, the one that we played against last year. So my biggest threats are going to be my top 4 teams. I gave you those. My biggest threats, although I think we're going to be successful, it's going to be the away games. It's going to be Oregon and it's going to be Notre Dame, because we got to go to Eugene and then you got to go to South Bend. And so you look at the situation like that, and then you got the quarterback play. Those would, to me, in my opinion, will pose the biggest threat. But I do think we're going to get through it. But you guys see here, man, I mean, USC, I mean, the schedule is serious business. We needed these defensive upgrades. And you hear Anthony Beavers talking about Tacky Curtis. Look, man, I believe Braylon Shelby's going to be one of those guys that's similar to Tacky Curtis. You guys hearing it from me first. Braylon Shelby is one of those guys. He won't be in, and Elijah Hughes too. He won't be in until the summer leading up to the fall. So I guess he'll be here for the summer workout. So you guys hit me in the comment section. You guys tell me what you think. Give me your top 4 teams in the Pac-12, and then give me your teams that you think pose the biggest threat. All right. Do you guys agree with my list? Look, man, I think USC, when you're talking about the quarterbacks that they're going to have to face, I don't think no other school has to face this many quarterbacks that are coming back, that guys that are experienced. USC has a gauntlet that they have to go through. The quarterbacks, Bo Nix, Michael Penix, I mean, Sam Hartman from Notre Dame. It's absolutely Cam Rising. It's ridiculous. You guys hear me in the comments. Tell me what you think. Look, I do think we're going to be successful with this schedule. I told you guys after the spring, I'm going to give my full prediction of what I think USC is getting ready to do. I'm also going to probably project, most likely, my starting lineup. Now, I know that we got guys coming in, guys like Braylon Shelby, that's going to be like a Tacky Curtis. I told you guys about Tacky Curtis, that he is the real deal. And I think Braylon Shelby is that same kind of guy, and Elijah Hughes. Both of those guys are just incredible guys. So look, man, you guys hit me in the comments. Tell me what you think. Who USC biggest threat is in the Pac-12, and of course, you guys know I added that bonus, which was Notre Dame, because they're not in the Pac-12, but they are every year they're going to be an opponent, and you know that we got to play them there. So look, that to me that makes a big difference. So hit me in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. Like, share, subscribe. You guys know where you can find me. It's going to be USCJ32 on Instagram, USCJ32 on Twitter. Until later on, everybody stay blessed. Look, make sure you get up, get out, and make some things happen. Fight on, fight on, fight on.